Hi, I'm Dan Music. In this video, we'll show you how to convert from an easy set spring system to standard torsion springs. On a two-spring system, the first thing we do is unwind the spring that's still wound. Notice on this spring that it has 10.5 turns. You count between the marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It goes around halfway. That's 10.5 turns. At this point, I'll unwind the spring. I use a 7/16 nut driver, but Clopay provides with the winder, if you still have the original kit, a 1/4-inch hex insert. When the spring unwinds, you'll notice that the cable comes loose. So there are no marks on here. The cable has come loose. So while we're still at this end, we'll start disassembling this end of the easy set system. First, I'll remove the tube retainer. Purpose of the tube retainer is to keep the shaft and torsion assembly up here if a cable breaks or if a spring breaks. It's possible that the shaft could go flying, drop to the floor, hit somebody, or damage a car. So now I'm going to loosen the set screws with a 3/16 Allen wrench. The cable drums have a set screw on both sides. Sometimes the other one will come loose when you loosen the one. So the cable drum is loose, and we're going to take it apart in the middle in a little while. So we want to be able to raise this and slide it over. So in order to slide the shaft over, I need to loosen the set screws on the cone here. At this point, we'll lift the winding unit and the spring and the cable drum and bring it up and out of the bracket. And while holding it, we slide the spring over and the cable drum over. We move that toward the middle so that when we take that apart, we have the weight. So that when we take that apart, you can handle the weight of the spring more easily than if the spring is down here. So while I'm still here, I'll remove the screws. And also the bolt. This is a 9/16 flange nut. The bolt is 3/8. I'm putting this here just to help support the track. So this is all removed. On this door, there's a spring at each end of the shaft. with a coupler in the middle. So at this point, I'm going to remove the screw in the coupler. Some doors will have 2 screws. This one only has 1 on each side. Now if you try to twist this out, it won't come out because of the burrs inside there on the shaft when this was screwed in. So in order to separate that, a number of ways to do it. In the door business, the best tool, the favorite tool we live by, we support our lives with it. I've worked on a lot of big 22 by 14, 16 doors. You get the door up, you put vice grips under the door, you work off the top of the door. And those 2 vice grips support your life. We use 2 vice grips and we twist it and pull to the right to get the shaft out. You have to be careful when the shaft comes out the end, the weight of the spring is going to pull down on it. So you put it back in, and then to save some time later, you follow the burr. The vice grips. And now the shaft slides in easily, and you can turn it by hand. So now we bring the shaft down. You want to center the weight so it's basically balanced on your hand. And then bring the whole thing down. So now remove the torsion assembly from the left end. You want to make sure that this spring is broken, make sure there's no tension on it. Cable drums should both be loose. The cable should be loose on both sides. This should be broken. You don't want any surprises. So the first thing we do over here is remove the tube retainer. Next, put the cables down here, and notice on this, usually when the spring breaks, this stays in here, but when this spring broke, it broke the tabs. So never, notice here if you turn the shaft, the drum turns. So we need to loosen those set screws. Has 2 set screws, 180 degrees apart. This is a 3/16 Allen wrench. Usually when you loosen one, the other one will come loose too. It'll be loosened up. So now the drum spins on the shaft. The next thing to remove is the end bracket. But before we do that, we want to lift this out of here and slide it over toward the center. So we can take that end apart, but we need to take this finish over here first. So raise that, bring it out. Also loosen the set screws so it'll slide. notice the spring spacer in the middle. Purpose of the spacer is to guarantee that the spring is stretched out enough so that when you wind it, the coils don't bind and you break your winder. Now lift up, slide this over, and while I'm still over here, so now I will remove the lag screws that secure the bracket to the header. This has 3, sometimes there will be 4 on a 12-inch radius track. You go further down, the flag bracket goes higher, so you don't even need these on a 12-inch radius track a lot of times. It's always good to put an extra screw in. Now remove the 3/8 bolt with the 9/16 socket. Well, this one's binding a little bit. Put the carriage bolt and nut here to prevent the track from sliding off that way. So now this end is removed. We go to the center, remove that, and bring the whole shaft and torsion assembly down. So I'm over here at the center of the door, and the coupler is in the middle of this center support bracket. First I'll remove the bracket, then when I remove the last screw, I'll support the weight of the spring with my left arm and hand. So now I'm supporting the weight of the spring. On this easy set torsion spring door, we have a continuous shaft. It's one piece, 16 feet, 10 inches long. That's the normal length of a garage door torsion shaft, or standard torsion. Safety, keep the shaft from sliding off. Put a vice grip on this end of the shaft, we'll put one on the other end. And then we're going to put the vice grip over on this side too. This will keep the shaft from falling when you slide the shaft back and forth. And this will allow me to remove the center support. So to pull this up, you can use a screwdriver or a hammer. Lift up on it. I'm going to bring this down here, and the vice grips keep the shaft from coming out. Now I can remove the center support. Okay, so at this time I'm going to put a rope around the horizontal track. The rope will allow me to slide the shaft back and forth, so I only have to handle the weight of the springs one end at a time. So I remove the vice grip because that's free down there. I can't slide the shaft that way, but I can slide it to the right. Bring the shaft over here and the rope. This vice grip will keep the shaft from sliding beyond the rope in case something happens. So we come over here to the right side and remove the vice grip. Now I can slide the shaft to the right and bring it down. Notice that the vice grip is supporting the other end. Most of the weight is down here. Now go to the other side and put that side down. Now, depending on the width of your garage, if you have a narrow garage, you can angle this into the garage and it will enable you to slide the springs over.